And that's why we left the US. Even though we cut our income in half, literally, for us, there were more important things. And why do so many people say life in Spain feels way better than the US, even though Americans on average earn way more money? It really sounds like it shouldn't make sense, but I'm telling you that after 18 months of living here in Spain, you start to realize it's not just about money, but about how your life actually feels on a daily basis. And honestly, some of these differences surprised me way more than I expected. Now, last year in 2025, a record number of US citizens, more than 150,000 actually, moved away from the US due to either high cost living, the chances to work remotely, safety concerns, and the topic of this video, quality of life. So let's break down the real reasons why Spain constantly ranks high in quality of life and why so many people who move here don't want to leave. But before we get started, guys, if you can please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, it really helps a lot. Obviously, drop a comment if you can, and as a thank you to this, here's a picture of a squirrel. Alright, so I'm gonna give you 8 factors why I think the quality of life is really up here when it comes to Spain. Number 1 is the work-life balance. Now, in the US, the work culture is intense, right? There's a saying that in the US, people live to work, and here people work to live, right? So what does that mean? In the US, long hours are normal, right? Checking emails after work, you staying over late, people taking all their vacations. Some people don't even do that on the yearly basis in the US. And in Spain, it's almost the opposite, right? People take their time off seriously. I mean, in the summer times, businesses are closed weeks at a time. People go on long holidays, and in the evening times are actually for relaxing, not for catching up on work. There's also less of this always available mentality. When people are off here, they're off. And that was a big shock to us because, you know, in the US, we're used to people moving a little bit quicker and actually working when they're not supposed to be working and going over that extra mile. Here, people take their time off seriously. And over time, that creates a completely different lifestyle. You're not constantly thinking about work, but you actually just living your life. You actually have space to enjoy your day. And this starts to affect things you wouldn't expect, like your stress levels, your relationships, and your mental health. Another major factor is healthcare. People in Spain have access to free healthcare, so their first problem when they get sick is not, can I afford this, like the US. Even with good insurance in the US, you can end up with huge medical bills, and unexpected costs can sometimes lead to bankruptcy. In Spain, the whole situation is way different. In Spain, that safety net is changing how people live, right? There's less anxiety around health, and people don't delay healthcare, which ultimately can be a way worse situation for you in the future. And believe me, guys, that peace of mind is something you don't really appreciate until you experience it. Number 3 is, and this is the big one, social life and family culture. This is probably one of the most underrated differences. Spain is a very social country, as I'm sure you guys will know. Life happens outside of plazas, cafes, bars. People meet up regularly, not just on the weekends. That is normal to go on a coffee and sit for hours on a Tuesday, or have dinner that lasts, again, hours. Family is also a big priority here in Spain. In the US, it can feel a little more individualistic, and I get it. It's bigger, people actually move away, but schedules are tight, and seeing friends can sometimes feel like a struggle because you have to plan everything right, make sure you guys are off at the same time, and actually meet and consciously drive or meet at the same place, where here you can just go downstairs and meet somebody in a 10-minute walk. And that makes a huge difference on how connected people feel. And honestly, this is one of the first things that made life here feel different. Now, number 4 is a little more uncomfortable to talk about, but we can't really compare quality of life between the US and Spain if you don't bring up the social tension, the politics, and the safety around it all. In the US, there has been a noticeable increase in political division. No matter where you stand, conversations get tense very quickly. Even if you're just having a regular conversation, that subject is always in the background, and it creates this division and hatred, and it's just, you're uncomfortable even with friends and family sometimes. Whether it's social media, the news, or everyday conversations, it's always there. And another factor within that same is safety, especially when it comes to gun violence and shootings. I mean, this is one of the main reasons we came here, especially us having kids. Even if it doesn't affect you directly, you see it happen, and it can change really how safe people feel on a daily life. In Spain, situations like that are extremely rare, and just because of that, people here in Spain feel way more at ease in public spaces. And again, this is not about just saying one place is perfect and the other one is not. It's just about how it makes you feel, right? How comfortable and safe you feel, you and your family, in one place compared to the other one. So number 5, it might sound simple, but it has a huge impact on how you feel, and that is the lifestyle and the climate. Spain has overall better weather, more sunshine, and people are always outside. Life, it's happening outside bars, cafes, bars, parks. You're not just going from house to car to work to car to house. You are being outside, you're enjoying that sunshine, you're talking to people, you're socializing, and all that is happening outside. Even in the summertime when it's 100 degrees, people are outside. And then there's the food. I mean, do we really need to talk about it? The US, if you don't know, you're been living under a rock. The US is highly processed food. I mean, obesity is definitely a problem there. Again, less processed meals, smaller portions. The Spain in general has better quality of food, more regulations regarding to what you can put in the food. And that Mediterranean lifestyle around here in Spain, it just contributes to better physical health and also mental health. Your environment is constantly pushing you to a healthier way of living. And over time, that adds way more than you think. Now, number 6 is pretty interesting, is cost of living versus lifestyle. Now, Spain's salaries are way lower than the US, and there might be a problem for a bunch of you guys. Just to put it as an example, I have a good friend of mine here who's an engineer, and he makes about less than 2,500 euros a month. I'll tell you this, I know the work he does, and for the work he does, if he was working in the US, he would make way into the 6 figures. But that's not all, because in Spain, everyday costs are also way less than the US. You're talking about public healthcare, transportation, food, even going out are often more affordable. In the US, a huge portion of your income goes to credit card debt, car payments, insurance, student loans. In Spain, you can often live well with less. So even though you're earning less, you can actually feel that you're living more. And for a lot of people, that trade-off is way worth it. So another huge difference, number 7, is that here, Spanish cities are designed for the people. They're all extremely walkable, and everything around you is really within a 5 to 10 minute walking distance. You got schools, groceries, cafes, pharmacies. Public transportation, not only is it extremely reliable, but it's really everywhere. Compare that to the US, where you actually need a car for everything. Not because, I'm not blaming it, I'm just saying that over there the distances are way longer, so you can't just walk to Publix or to Walmart because you're gonna be out all day. And this is the part that people don't think about enough. Walking, especially around the city, it involves you in a good way to be part of the community. You get to see the same people every day. You know the guy who cuts your meat, you know that he's gonna ask about your family, he's gonna ask about your kids. Where you drink your coffee, the owner of the bar is probably gonna sit down with you and maybe have a conversation. It involves you to be social in a good way, right? You create friends, you create memories, and those small interactions, I'm telling you, they matter. It's those little details that make the daily life feel way more human. In the US, it's more of a, you're in a trance, you get to where you gotta go and then you come back and pretty much that's it. Now, when you combine all this, better work-life balance, healthcare, social life, and walkable cities, you get something that is really important, which brings me to my last factor, my last point. It is less stress. People feel here that they have time to connect, time to enjoy life, time to relax. And that's, in my opinion, when people say quality of life, that is what they mean. It's really not just about wanting more and all these material things, it's about how you feel on a daily basis. Now, let's be real, Spain is not perfect by any means, right? I've talked to many people who complain about a lot of things like lower salaries, the unemployment rate can be an issue, and actually you finding decent work can also be a problem. If your goal is to build wealth, especially quickly, the US still has an edge by far. So what does this all mean, right? When people say that Spain has a better quality of life, I think what they mean is if you value time, relationship, and peace of mind, Spain is hard to beat. But now if you value income, ambition, and career growth, the US is the place for you. So guys, at the end of the day, it's not about which country is better, because they both have their good and they both have their bad, right? So in my opinion, at the end of the day, it's about what kind of life you and your family want to live. And that's why we left the US. Even though we cut our income in half, literally, for us, there were more important things. And a lot of people are not gonna agree with that, and that's okay. If you experience both, I'd love to hear your perspective. Maybe you wanna add another quality of life factor that I missed. Anyways, put it down in the comments. You know, by this point, you know that I answer to almost every comment. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.